Once upon a midnight dreary, while I ponder, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this? Distinctly I remember, it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrote its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my book sources of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, still the beating of my heart I still repeating, "'Tis some visitor, entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor, entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or Madame, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore?" "This," I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, "Lenore." Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard the tapping, somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what the red is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more."
Open here, I flung the shirt, when, with many a flirt and flirt, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obedience made he, not a minute stop or stayed he, but, with mien of lord and lady, perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this heavenly verdict, beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore, though the grace be shorn and shaved, though, I said, are sure no craven, ghastly grim, and ashen raven, wandering from the nightly shore, tell me what the pearly name is on the nightly Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marveled this ungainly fool to hear the discourse so plainly, though it answered, meaning little relevance it bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird of peace above the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that the one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing further, nothing then he uttered, not a feather, then he fluttered. Still I scarcely moored that muttered. Other friends have flown before it. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before it. Then the bird said, "Nevermore." Started at the stiffness of his reply, so aptly spoken. "Doubtless," said I, with each other it all stock stirred, caught from unhappy mastered with unmerciful disaster, followed fast and followed faster, till he somewhat burden bore, till the days of his hope that melancholy burden bore, of nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my sad soul into smiling, straight I will a cushion sit in front of bird and bust and dirt. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking. Fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of dirt, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of dirt meant in croaking nevermore.
This I sat, engaging in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the flow, whose fire eyes now boring into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining, on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight glowed o'er. But whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight glowed o'er, she shall press nevermore. Then, methought, the argued dancer, perfumed from my unseen censer, swung by seraphim, whose footfalls tinkle on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cry, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee. Respite, respite and nepenthe from the memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff, this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet said I, thing of devil, prophet still, if beer of devil. Whether tempest sent, or whether tempest tossed thee, hear us hoar. Desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert, land enchanted, on this home, by horror haunted. Tell me truly, I implore. Is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet said I, thing of devil, prophet still, if beer or devil. By that heaven that bends above us, by that God we all adore, tell this soul, with sorrow laden, if, within the distant Eden, it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare, a radiant Adam, whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that war or sin of parting, beer of frame, a shriek of starting. Jet the back into a tempest and the night Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie that soul has spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the boast above my door. Take that beak from out my heart, and take that form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven never flitting, Stella setting, on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seam of a demon that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul, from off that shadow that lies floating on the floor, shall be lifted nevermore.